Hello everyone, I am Lokesh and welcome back to the channel. So friends, this is the first video for the TCS NQT preparation and the TCS Ninja hiring preparation, and this is video related to C programming crash course in which we study most important topics or from start for the C programming. And there is a one important point that it will be from form today to 28 August 2021. Okay, because as we know that after 30 August or before 30 August there is a exam of TCS Ninja hiring or the TCS August NQT, and this video is for the Ninja and NQT preparation. If you are from 2017 to 23 batch or from 2018 to 23 batch, you can watch this video and you can share this video with your friends, because I just share all my notes with all of you, and this is the handwritten notes also, plus as well as some topics also. So this is the part 1 video, and as well as in the upcoming videos I will started the series that is related to object oriented programming, and I just make the complete video for the object oriented programming, for the data structure and for the other subjects. So let's start the video. So the first thing that you have noticed in the Ninja hiring and NQT preparation, there is an MCQ questions from the C programming. Okay, so you have to understand the basic concept of C as well as the advanced concept plus programming practice. For the programming practice, I just uploaded the other videos on the channel. You can check from channel. Okay, there are so many videos that I uploaded that is related to TCS Ninja preparation series, numerical ability, as you can check that. Okay, so in the today's video we talk about the some important topic that is or some introduction topic that is related to C language, that what is C language, history of C, sample program example, character set, C tokens, keyword identifier, constant variable, data type, operator and expression, all operator, managing input and output operations, some important concept. And there is a one important point that this video is totally on the timestamp basis. Okay, so you have just to go to timestamp part and you can check the video, but on the Premiere you can just check the video. Okay, so what is the C language? Okay, as we know that C seems a strange name for a programming language, but this strange surrounding language is one of the most popular computer language today, because it is structured high level machine independent language. It allows software to develop program without worrying about the hardware platforms where they will be implemented. Okay, so this is the just related to history of C. C was generally evolved from Algol, BCPL and B by Dennis Ritchie at the Bell Laboratories in 1972. Okay, so as we know that Dennis Ritchie just made the C languages, and it will be evolved from some of the programming language like Algol, BCPL, basic combined programming language, B language. C uses many concepts from this language and added the concept of data types or the data structures and the other powerful features. Okay, so C can be defined by the following way. Why C is more popular or the most important? As we know that C is the mother languages and the system programming languages, procedure oriented programming languages, structured and the mid programming languages. For the history of C, you can see that the first language is just introduced at the Algol. Okay, so in the 1960 there is an Algol language, and the root of all modern language is Algol. Okay, so that will be introduced in the early 1960. Algol is the first computer language to use a block structure. Okay, after that in 1967 Martin Richards developed a language called BCPL, that is called the basic combined programming language. Okay, so it's will generally for primarily for writing system software. Okay, in 1970, okay, in 1970 Cam Thompson just created a new language that is called the B language, and it will take the features of BCPL, basic combined programming language, but it were used to clearly version of Unix operating system. Okay, so it will be totally different from the BCPL. After that there is a language called the language C. Okay, the traditional C is introduced in the year 1972. After that there are so many languages, as you can see that, and C was standard community by NCC in the 1989, and after that on the 1990 year there is an ISO committee that generally standard the way of C language, and standardization committee just approved the C99, okay, in the 1999 year. After that there are so many languages. During the same period, Sun Microsystem of USA created a new language called the Java. Okay, so as we know that this is the complete history for the C. But if I talk about importance of C, so C has some of the importance like the C compiler benefits. So what are the some C compiler benefits? Okay, so the C compiler combines the capability of an assembly language with the features of high level language. Okay, and there is one important point, like it will be well suited for system software and the business packages. Okay, so there are only 32 keywords in the C, and it will totally strength lie in its built-in function. Okay, so C is highly portable. The portability means that C program written from one computer can be run on another with little or no modification, and it will be well suited for structured programming, that user to think a problem in terms of function, modules or block, and its ability to extend itself. Okay, the ability to extend itself, like the C program is basically a collection of functions that are supported by the C library. Okay, so these are the some importance of C. Okay, so this is the sample program that we have to print a message. Okay, and there are so many parts that I considered in this section, but if you want some basic parts also, so you can check my handwritten note, and I will share on my blog. Okay, so you can just check the link in the description, and you can check what are the some topics that I cover in my handwritten notes. Okay, so that is related to the printing. This is the sample program that is related to printing a message. Okay, so let us have a close look to that program. Okay, so the first line inform the system. That the name of program is main, and the execution is and the execution begins from this line. The main is a special function that is used by C system to tell the computer where the program start. Means the program start from here. Okay, every program have exactly one main function. If we use more than one function, one main function, the compiler cannot understand which one marks the beginning of program. Okay, so the main function is very special function. This is for the beginning of program. Okay, so the empty pair. Okay, as you can see that why we use empty pair here. So the empty pair of parenthesis, we call this is parenthesis. So the immediately following main indicate that function has no argument or parameter. Okay, so this is just the empty pair of parenthesis, means there is no function, there is no arguments, or there is no parameter. That is okay. So this is very important point. Okay, so the opening braces in the second line. Okay, so I just talk about the opening braces. So the opening braces in the second line marks the beginning of function main. Okay, and the closing braces will just release that the marks the end of the program. All the statement between these two braces form the function body. Means this is the totally function body. Okay, this is the starting and this is the closing. Okay, and this all the function body. Okay, so there is one important point, that in this case the function body contain only, as you can see that the function body contains the three statement, or we can say that there is an important point, that what do you mean by printf? Okay, so the printf is the function. Okay, the printf is the predefined standard C function for printing output. Means if you want to print on the new line, or if you want to print in the same line, or if you just want to print the output or something, so you can use the printf, and it is the predefined standard C function for printing output. Predefined means that it is a function that is already written, compiled and linked together with our program at the time of linking. Okay, so we do not define the function body for the printf, we just write the printf here, and as you can see that in the double inverted comma that is written that I see, I remember. So in the output section, just read that in the output section it will be shown like I see, I remember. Okay, so the output is I see, I remember. So this is the sample program that is for printing the message. Okay, so let's go to the most important topic, or the third topic, that is related to the basic structure of program. So as we know that what is the basic structure of program, and the basic structure of program is, as we know that C program can be viewed as a group of building blocks that is called function. Okay, so there is a document section, link section, definition, global declaration, main function section, and main function section contain two parts like declaration part, executable part, and the sub program section, that is user defined function, contains function 1, function 2, function n. Okay, so as we know that, a function is a subroutine. Okay, a function is a subroutine that may include one or more statement designed to perform a specific task. Means a function contain one or more statement that is generally used to perform a specific task. Okay, so as you can see that the document, what do you mean by document section? The document section consists of a set of comment line giving the name of program, the author, the other details. Okay, there are some variables that is used in more than one function. Such variable are called global variable and declared in the global declaration section. Okay, and that is outside of all function because it's just outside of a function main. Okay, every C program has one main function. This section contains two parts, declaration part and executable. The declaration part declares all the variable that is used in the executable part. Okay, so this is the very important point that is related to basic structure of program. Let's move on to executing of C program, and executing of C program are just in the 4 steps, that creating the program, compiling the program, linking the program function that are needed from the C library, executing the program. Okay, this is the complete diagram, but I just take the my notes help because I just explained that is related to. Okay, so as you can see that how we just develop the software in the C. Okay, how we can develop the software in the C and what is the software development in the C. Okay, so there is one important point that we have to just make the software in the binary language. Okay, so as we understand that computer only understand the binary language 0, 1. Okay, so there is a very important point that this is our source file. Okay, it's not software. Okay, so we have just written that we have to just file in the form of this term. Okay, so the software file is just like use the extension of exe, means exe file is software, another file is not software, no other file is software, but the exe.exe file is the software because it contains the part in terms of 010101. Okay, so as you can see that we have a C file. Okay, so if we have a C file, okay, we just written the program in the C programming language and it is our source file. It's not a software because OS understand only .exe file, because operating system understand 0 and 1 binary language. Okay, and this is very important point that we have just write the code in the C language. Okay, C language that is convert into software, so will run the software. So there is a preprocessor. Okay, so what do you mean by preprocessor? Preprocessor means that the statement start with this. So they were handled. Okay, so they were handled to start this, just like we just add the include stdio, hashtag include stdio. Okay, stdio.h. So the main important point that the statement start with the hashtag, so they will be handled by the preprocessor. Okay, and there is a header file. Okay, there is a header file like stdioh, iostream.h, conio.h. Okay, so this is very important point, that header file that is used to mix the content. Okay, and that will make the new file that is called sum.i file. Okay, it will contain those part like include stdioh, include conio.h, okay, include iostream.h, because the header file contains because the header file contains some content that are used in the programming, okay, or that are used in the program. Okay, after that we have a new file after mixing the content from preprocessor and header file, that is called the sum.i file. Okay, in which there is a hashtag statement. After that there is a compiler. This is not the program, okay, or this is not the software, okay, because the OS understand only .exe file. Okay, so the compiler is the basically for the translate the program, okay, from as we know that it will translate the program from object file, and compiler will translate one programming language into another. And this is very important point, that the compiler will convert or translate the program. Okay, so it will just change the language, and after that we have a sum.object file. Okay, object file for particular OS means you have just use on the Linux or in the Windows or for the iOS. Okay, so after that there is a library file. Okay, library file are those files that are not understandable by the object file. Okay, and in which some content are not in the object file, so it will be just come from the library file, and there is a linker. Okay, so we have just combined the object file plus library file, and there is a linker, and finally we got the sum.exe file. Okay, so it will be just for the sum.exe file is just for the C executable file, means .exe file is the executable file. Okay, so let's move on to the next part, that is related to constant, variable and data type. Okay, so as we know that task of processing data is accomplished by executing a sequence of precious instruction, that is called the program. That is character set, what is C tokens, keyword identifier, constant, variable, data type. Okay, so as you can just learn from this PDF, but there is one important point, we have just go to starting part. Okay, so the next concept is what is identifier. Okay, so there is a very important point, that identifier just consists the three part, that is constant, variable and the keyword. Okay, so as we know that in the Hindi, so there in English we just say that this is the word, in Hindi we call the shabd, and in the C language we just call the identifier. Okay, in the English the word meaning the meaning of the particular is that this is the word. Okay, as we can see that, so in the C language we just call that the identifier. So as you can see that the identifier contains three parts like constant, variable and keyword. Okay, so and the C language contains instruction and the statement. Okay, so the instruction are also generally are 3 or 4 types, as you can see that in the 3 type, but the identifier consists of constant, variable and keyword, then instruction, and after that the program. Okay, so what do you mean by constant? Oh, okay, if we make a software to manage information, constant means any information in C or any information is C. Okay, we have a data. Okay, so in the data there is an information. Okay, so it will be treated as constant. So there are two type of generally constant, that is primary constant, secondary. Primary is integer, real, character. Secondary is array, string, pointer, union, structure. Okay, so integer means okay, integer, as we know that what are the integers. Okay, so as you can see that I just written in the Hindi that बस point लगा नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, so this is just treated as integer, and in the real there is a point. Okay, so as you can see that if there is a point, so it will be considered as real. And as you can see that what do you mean by character? Okay, so the character is that have the single code. Okay, so the single code is generally called the character, only one symbol. Okay, and it will be not a character constant. As you can see that this is the 1 and this is the 2 symbol, and this if the single, okay, if the single code is generally used or the single inverted comma is used, so it will be considered as character. And string is group of character or the sequence of character. So let's move on to the second part, that is called the variable. Variable are the name of memory location where we store data. Okay, so the rules of the variable are: variable name is any of alphabet, digit and underscore. Variable valid variable name can't start with the digit. Okay, So the third part, variable are just name of memory location where we store data, just like we just store the 20 part here, 20 or 40 part here. But what about the variables? Okay, so we just use the variable. Okay, so the third part is keyword. Keyword are the predefined word and these are the reserved word, and there are 32 keywords in NCC, that is like auto, break, go to, if, switch, float. Okay, so let's move on to the third topic or the third part, that is called the instruction. Okay, so in the English language we just say that the statement. Okay, just like okay, Lokesh go to school, so this is the statement as we know that, but in the C language we just said that this is the instruction, so we have to follow that instruction. So there are the four types, that is data type. Okay, data type instruction, and after that there is the input output instruction, and the third part is the other part. Okay, so I just add in that. Okay, so second part is input output instruction. The first is data type instruction. It contains integer, character, float, double, void. Okay, so as you can see that declaration statement contain first data type. Okay, so what do you mean by data type? Data type is the type of data we are just generally used for that, like which type of data we are used, that like integer, character, float, double. As we can see that we are just read that what is integer, real, character, float and double. Okay, so this is the instruction. And the second instruction is just that input output instruction. Okay, so the standard input device is keyboard and standard output device is monitor, and output instruction is screen for in they are printing on the screen, and printf is not a keyword, printf is predefined function. Okay, after that there is some important point, that what do you mean by new line character? Okay, if you wanted to print your output in the next line, so you can just use the new line character. Okay, so these are the some important notes that I cover that. Okay, and in input output instruction, so how you take value from user, so you can use the scanf predefined function. Scanf is also generally not the keyword. Scanf just used for taking the value from the user. Okay, what do you mean by format specifier? And printf is just for the we have to print on screen. Okay, and the scanf is just for taking the value. Okay, so as you can see that I just made the two square number program, and from the in the next video we just talk about the operator part, and from the next video we just also talk about the some important points or the important program, because this is the basic part video. Okay, so as you can see that what is the C token, in the passage of individual word and punctuation marks are called token. Okay, so the C token is just same that what are the keyword, constant, identifier, string, operator, special symbol. This type of considered in the C token, what is keyword and identifier, what is constant. You can see that what are the primitive data type. A data type specifies the type of data that a variable can store, such as integer, floating, character, etc. And there are the three data type: primitive, derived, user defined. In the primitive section, as you can see that integer, signed and unsigned, and there is a character point. This is the primary data type. And in the floating there is a float, double, long double and the void. Okay, so in this video we just discuss the starting part or the introduction part, but from the next video we just completed the operator section or the control statement or the other if, else, for loop and pointer and some of the important topics, and after that we started the programming series. I hope this video is useful for everyone. If you have any doubt, you can drop your query in the comment section. If you find the good content, please like and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching the video.